Thank you so much for joining me tonight for the an online reading from And I Climbed, my new children's poetry collection that's out now through Troika books. I'm so excited to be doing this. We launched the book in Waterstones in Bristol last week, and it was such a lovely event. I had such a nice time that I thought I would come online and simultaneously read some poems via Instagram and Facebook. So hopefully this works okay. I'm so grateful for those of you that have joined. I've been really overwhelmed by the response to the book so far. Just some of the reviews have been really lovely, the comments have been nice. Yeah, it's just been really nice to put this book out in the world. For those that you don't know about the book is about, I'll show it again, it's always good to keep showing the title, isn't it? The book is about an 8-year-old boy called Cosmo who falls from the tree in his garden and breaks his back and becomes a wheelchair user. And this book is a series of poems that he writes in letter form to the tree as he comes to terms with his accident over the next year or so. And I was so delighted to be asked by Troika to write this book. There is much of me in this. I think I've been asked a lot about is this based on my experiences? Is Cosmo somebody that I know? And the answer is yes, there's a bit of me in there. I find it difficult to not write about me. I think things that I've written in the past do focus on my experiences. So there are obviously things in there that are relevant to me. But I was 16 when I had my accident. That's a long time ago now, nearly 30 years. And so I was a little bit older than Cosmo, who's 8. And but I was in hospital with other people, and some of them were around that age, and I was very familiar, and I think I was very taken at that time by what it must have been like to be 8, 9, 10 and have such a life-changing accident happen to you. Hello to those people that are joining. So glad that you're here. Really nice to be reading these poems. Just a few things to say before I start. I want to say a massive thank you to Troika for asking me to be in this book. This book wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Martin and Roy having faith in me, if it wasn't for Shauna and her incredible mentorship and reading of the poems and the manuscript as we went along. I was so grateful for her insight and her comments. I think this book wouldn't exist if it wasn't for her, and also for Shiyu Lin, who created some of these incredible illustrations, some of which I'll show you. I was just absolutely mesmerised by some of his illustrations that he's been able to draw, and has brought this incredible visual aesthetic to the book that I just thought was wonderful. So there's some of these kind of illustrations, and if you want to get a copy of the book, you can do from I'd like to say from all good bookshops, but you'd probably have to go in. Shiyu has just joined the Instagram live. I was just talking about how amazing you are. I'm so pleased that you're here. It's very weird that I've not been able to. I've never met. We've never spoken, but I was just eulogizing about how incredible your illustrations are, and I feel a little bit emotional that you've just joined to because this is as much your book as it is mine, and like some of these just illustrations are just stunning, and I have actually just got a little bit teary at the fact that you've just joined, because I'm so overwhelmed by how you were able to create Cosmo in a way, and also draw the two of us in the back of the book, which is very exciting. Anyway, I should probably read some poems. So I'm going to start with the first poem, and also just to say, I think it is really important to have disability featured like this. I think authentically I am a wheelchair user, and I'm writing about my lived experience, and I think it's really critical that these authentic voices, these lived experiences, not to say that other people can't write about people with disabilities, it's not to say that other people can't feature them in their books. I've read books where disabled people are featured, and it's been done really well. But I just felt as though, you know, I wanted to do something that was in my voice and in Cosmo's voice, that felt authentic to me, and hopefully to others that would read this and see some of themselves in this. And I think that is really important. It's also incredibly the book trust. It's also incredibly I think there's a bit of a lost connection. It's also incredibly the Book Trust Book of the Month as well. So just in case the camera cuts out, I shall start reading some poems. This first poem is called Broken Back. The doctor tells me I have something in my back called vertebrae. He says I have 33. Is that as many branches as you have? I should have tried to count them all when I climbed through your leaves. I broke 4 vertebrae when I fell from your arms. Now I use a wheelchair because, like you, I can't walk. In hospital. On the first day I could eat food, I said I wanted custard. Not long after, a huge ball of custard appeared. On the second and third day, I asked for custard, and it appeared. I asked how long I could eat custard for. Until you feel better, they said. As if you can eat custard every day in hospital. After I could manage a full day in my wheelchair, I was told to get ready for Wednesday. Because on Wednesdays it's swimming. And when I swim, I feel free. No chair, no pain. Just Cosmo again. As if they've got a swimming pool in a hospital. The nurse pushed me down to the secret corridor, the one where they've got robots, actual robots on wheels, moving the washing, taking meals, carrying all kinds of things I couldn't touch. These robots are cool, the nurse said. They're on wheels, just like you. Cool, like you. As if they've got robots in a hospital. After swimming, I ate some toast and went to look at the robots again. Red. This next poem's called Red Marks. At night, Mum and Dad take it in turns to check my skin for red marks. They look at my hips, my ankles, the bony bit of my bum that sits on my cushion. Every time I see a doctor or a nurse, they tell me red marks are bad. Worse than saying swear words, dropping chewing gum, or putting cling film over the toilet seat. Red marks mean pressure. And pressure can lead to sores, and sores are very bad. Sores could mean days in bed. Now, that really is bad. No more surfing or goalkeeping if that happens. Mum and Dad used to look through my homework to see where the teachers had put red marks. Now they're too busy looking at my skin. I haven't done my homework in at least a week, and no one has noticed. I'm just flicking through these, I'm going to read another one that wasn't necessarily on the set list. So I'm going to read this one. It's called My Brother by Anna. And as I said, there's a few poems that I'll read in this that are by other members of his family. And in this, I imagined his sister Anna to be 5. So she's having a go at writing the poem to the tree. Hey, a tree! Cosmo doesn't leave footprints anymore. He leaves 2 tri-tacks instead. That is really cool. Anyone could leave footprints. That is so boring. No. And when I see his tyre tracks, I always know where he's been. And I like that. It always feels like he's near. This one's called Writing My Feelings. It was Dad who saw it first. He was helping me get ready for bed. I knew I would see it, but I did it anyway. My marker pen tattoos. One on each leg in big black letters. Stupid in one leg, useless on the other. Dad didn't say anything at first. He just sat down at the bed, looked at my legs, and then saw the marker pen on the bedside table on top of the football sticker book. After what felt like a whole football match, then extra time and penalties, Dad finally said something. "What's this about, pal? Eh?" He patted each of my legs once with his massive hands. I wanted so much to know what that felt like. He might as well have been patting two rotten sausages. They don't listen to me, they don't work, they don't do what I ask. I hate them. They just hang there and I've got to drag them around. I want to get a saw from the shed and I want to cut them off. So I gave myself tattoos just like you and Mum have. Dad looked at me and smiled. "You're a bit young for tattoos, pal. Besides, these are only half finished." I watched him go over to the table and he picked up the marker pen. He came back and he wrote the word "not" before each of my pen tattoos. Not stupid, not useless. "Are you really listening?" he said. "To your legs? There's still energy in there. Oh, and so much life. Your life. And you're not stupid or useless." He reached out and gave me a hug. And I breathed in his dad's smell. "We'll wash these off tomorrow," he said. There's a theme through this book about biscuits, and I'm going to try and read as Cosmo's mum. At the launch last week, Shauna, who I mentioned earlier, read these poems from Mum, and she did a terrific job. So hopefully I can kind of do them with my gruff northern accent. A poem from Mum. "Hello, tree. I'm Sally, Cosmo's mum. Don't worry. I'm not here with an axe. I just want to look up and see if my little boy left anything up there. I don't blame you for what happened. You're just a tree. But since the accident, it's like he left something behind. He's lost his smile. He's stopped playing outside. His football boots have gone. So has his pride at being a big brother. He avoids the skate park. You know, he used to love whizzing down the half pipe. Where's his imagination that could turn a box into a ship and your branches a ladder to the moon? I miss his sense of humour. I miss his cheeky ways. I used to ask him what he would want for dinner, and he'd shout, "Biscuits!" Now he just stays quiet. Is his love of biscuits up there? Please help me, tree. Help me find the biscuits. This next poem is called Brave Boy. A lady in the cinema tells Mum that I'm brave as I fill my tub with pick and mix. Mum's face like it does when I wheel mud in from the garden. Sort of like a baked potato that's been in the oven for too long. I wonder why Mum has her potato face. Is she going to tell this lady off? I asked the lady if she thinks I'm brave because I filled half of my tub with sour cherries and the other half with fizzy fish. I wonder if her cheeks are watering from the thought of all that sour. Mum doesn't look like a potato anymore. Instead, her eyes are bulging from holding in a giant laugh. The strange thing is, people tell Mum that I'm brave a lot. I'm brave when ordering a hot dog at the football. I'm brave when trying on trainers at the shoe shop. I'm brave when throwing balls through a hoop on the pier. I'm brave when I go with Nana to the greengrocer's to buy bananas. No one seems to call Anna brave when she tries shoes on. And she's only 5. I know they're scared of my wheelchair, and they don't know if they could smile as much as I do if they had to push to the shops. But I don't smile because I'm brave. I smile because I'm happy. Biscuits. Mum keeps putting the biscuits in the biscuit cupboard. The only problem is, the biscuit cupboard is too high for me to reach. Jammy Dodgers, wagon wheels, club bars, Kit Kats, all beyond the tips of my fingers. The digestives, they can stay up there. They are dry and boring. The other biscuits, the good ones, are like cats stuck in your branches. I thought about calling the fire brigade, but I'm actually not that sure that would go down too well. Hello, this is the operator. What's your emergency? Send a fire engine with ladders! I need biscuits! They're stuck in the cupboard and can't get down! I don't think Mum does it on purpose. She's like me, still trying to figure this out, and sometimes she forgets and puts the biscuits where I can't reach. Ducks. Yesterday, Mum said, "Where's your welly?" The ducks stole it, and that's the truth. A group of them, 20, 30, maybe 100, and I think a swan too. Just how did the duck steal your welly? It was a good question. Well, I pushed across the field near the river and there they were, rushing as one towards me, like a giant bus-sized duck. Quack, 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 quack. I nearly did a quack in my pants. So I took off my welly and I threw it at them. It's easier to wang a welly than push in the mud. The ducks grabbed the welly and then pulled it into the river. Mum asked, "Why didn't you just throw all the duck food?" That is a good point, I thought, looking down at the bag of duck food on my knee. This next one's called Huff Stop. We had to take the bus today. I hadn't been on my bus in my wheelchair before. The bus driver huffed because he had to get off the bus to lower the ramp for me to get on. The lady huffed because she had to move her suitcases from in front of the sign that said, "Please give priority to wheelchairs." The man huffed because he had to move his 6 carrier bags full of shopping so that Mum could sit down, and when she did, he made a loud tutting noise. The boy with the massive headphones on huffed because he dropped his phone and it skidded under my chair and it took ages to get back. The bus driver huffed again when we got to the library, as he had to get off the bus again to lower the ramp for me to get off. Buses are very huffy places. Biscuits for dinner. Hi, Tree! It's Cosmo's mum again! Today, I asked Cosmo what he wanted for dinner. Biscuits, he said with a cheeky smile. And we had biscuits for dinner. We had all the biscuits. Well, apart from the digestive ones, of course. Then we went and we bought some more. I thought you'd be happy to know that. This one's called The Greatest Day. And I'll say that this poem was inspired by surfing down in Croyd. I surf myself and I surf down in Croyd, which is where I'm going to be tomorrow. And I surf with somewhere called the Wave Project. The Wave Project has different hubs around the country. And this one in particular in North Devon at Croyd. I've seen they just had a changing places toilet. If you don't know what a changing places toilet is, it's like a big toilet, disabled accessible toilet. It's got a shower, it's got a changing table, it's got a sink that goes up and down. Incredible, wonderful things that are making places more accessible and allowing people to be more independent. And on the wall in the changing places is a photograph of a young lad sat on a wheelchair, sat on a chair, on a surfboard, big blue surfboard, and the smile on his face lights that room up. And the Wave Project and other places like them do incredible stuff, and I knew I wanted to write about Cosmo going surfing. So this poem's called The Greatest Day. That's what I called yesterday. I went surfing in the sea, on a surfboard with a seat. Wetsuit on, I look like a seal. You should have seen the wave I surfed. It was 10 feet tall. No, maybe 100. As high as 123 grizzly bears standing on each other's shoulders and just as angry as the wave. I didn't mind the salt in my eye. I was crying anyway. I wasn't sad. I wasn't hurt. I was free at last. The water, a big blue surfboard, and me, grizzly bear wave tamer. Thank you so much to everybody who's stuck around for the past 25 minutes and listened to these poems. It's really nice to be able to do something like this and share these poems online for people that aren't able to get to launches. I'd love to go out and do some more readings, but I'm going to finish this reading with the last poem in the book, and it's called Cosmo. Last night I had a bad dream. I dreamt I was a tree, and all I could move was my branches. My trunk was stuck in the ground. People came up to me, they hugged me, and they told me everything would be okay. And I'd get used to being a tree. But I'm not a tree. Being a tree would be different. And I'm not different. I laugh, and I whoop, and I dash, and I spin. I'm still Cosmo. I've always been Cosmo. I will always be Cosmo. Thank you so much, everybody. I've been reading your comments coming in as I've been doing this, and it's so nice to get that interaction. There's lots of poems in the book, so we should probably do this again at some point. I'm always happy to keep reading these poems. But thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to read these poems and to share these with you and to bring Cosmo to life. And thank you again to everybody who has joined. This recording will be available afterwards. So thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.